Thank you, Manu, for joining us for the Nielsen CXO series. So I wanted to start with, how global PepsiCo sees India opportunity.
Well, first, thanks for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here. India is really one of PepsiCo's fastest growing scale markets. I mean, we are among the top 5 markets in size, and clearly within that pool, we are the fastest growing. And PepsiCo is very, very bullish on India. We've got two very good businesses here, a beverage business and a food business. Both are scale businesses with some phenomenal brands. And PepsiCo is really excited about what we have on the ground in terms of infrastructure, brands, people, selling systems on one hand, and the Indian consumer and the big opportunity still to be tapped into in India. And that combination really excites them. And we're going to continue to see PepsiCo focused on India, investing in India, and making sure we continue to do justice to our business and our consumers in India.
We've seen a little bit of a slowdown in the economy. I mean, last quarter, GDP growth was 5.3%. In an environment like this, where global PepsiCo is looking at the India opportunity, how are you managing the slowdown?
Well, a couple of points here, Piyush. Firstly, I think certainly there is a slowdown. There you talk across consumers, talk to people in different industries, you feel a slowdown. But I think there's the economic slowdown and there's a consumption slowdown, and there's a bit of a lag. In being a consumption economy, the consumption is 2 to 3x GDP growth typically in categories like food and beverage. So is the market growing a little slower than it was earlier? Definitely yes. But is it a very tough situation with growth just tanking and disappearing? No. We still continue to get healthy growth. And I think there's very logical reasons for it. Firstly, what we sell are small indulgences, a beverage in the evening or a snack sometime during the day or a combination of the two. And we sell them at very affordable price points. Look at snacks, lowest price point is 2 rupees. In beverages, it's 8. So you're giving offerings to the consumer and small indulgences at the time when they're making other big cuts in their life. So they continue to consume our products even through this.
Manu, in an environment like this, where the consumers are continuously evolving and changing, their needs are changing, it is mandatory to be innovating at all times. So what is PepsiCo doing with the two businesses that you talked about in India from an innovation standpoint?
Okay. Well, a couple of points. Firstly, I think the core is growing very, very well and at a very healthy rate. So we continue to grow out the core and build in the right infrastructure for that, increase the depth and the reach from consumers and give them multiple offerings from a package point of view at different price points to suit various needs and various occasions. But then we are innovating beyond the core and innovating into health and wellness spaces with our Quaker range and our Tropicana juices, and then doing the appropriate innovation for bottom of the pyramid consumers, which are different kinds of offerings, both in foods and beverages, and trying to approach it with different business models.
Manu, there's a lot of talk about rural India and all the FMCG manufacturers are going deep into rural. There's also opportunity in middle India, which is 1 to 10 lakh towns. They're growing rapidly. How would you look at rural India versus middle India?
Well, I think both very true. Growth in the metros is certainly slowing down as you've really totally taken advantage of the penetration opportunity. Your products are well penetrated, well available. And the next level of growth really we are seeing is from the tier 2 and tier 3 towns, which are growing at 2 to 3x metros. And then rural India, it's a phenomenal story. And I think for most FMCGs, where it's growing 2x urban India. So really getting good level of growth from both these with largely the same product offerings and some new offerings both. And I think very obvious reasons. Firstly, the brand awareness is high. So we've got really well-loved brands and they're as well-loved as in tier 2 and tier 3 towns as they're in metros and in rural India where TV penetration is now fairly high. So we are getting the benefit of our brands and then we are tailoring the right offerings in terms of price points, especially in the foods business where you're going to lower price points, in the beverage business just with the right returnable glass business model and chilling infrastructure, all of which we are investing in for growth in rural and are very, very happy with the progress we have.
In India, it's all about traditional trade. Half of world's outlets are in India, and there's traditional trade continues to grow. But at the same time, modern trade is gaining ground. A lot of outlets are coming up. What is PepsiCo doing in managing the growth of both traditional and modern trade?
Well, I'll just take that in two parts. Firstly, you're right, traditional trade is expanding, and every time I see the Nielsen report, I'm staggered by the numeric addition in terms of the number of in terms of the FMCG universe. And so the first our first job is to make sure that we are expanding our numeric and weighted distribution in the traditional trade in a way to make sure we are fairly represented in these expanding and increasing outlets. And I think we've got a pretty good progress there on both our beverage and our food business, and are seeing that numeric growth. On the modern trade side, certainly it's really bringing together all our global learnings on modern trade and combining that with the local insights on the Indian shopper and why they're going in modern trade to ensure that we can really give the right experiences and therefore get the right level of growth. And I think it all starts with the right shopper insights, that when the shopper is going into the modern trade, what are they going for? How are they shopping? What's the kind of basket? What's the kind of ticket size? And how we can play a role in that, and then address it through multiple levels.
You know, your target is a lot of young consumers, and we're seeing social media evolve. And like it or not, you know, networks like Facebook and Twitter today determine what brand image is and whether it'll be a success in the future. So what is PepsiCo doing in the social media space?
Well, I think we've already taken up the challenge. At the end, we communicate largely with young consumers, and you cannot be successful with communicating with this group of consumers unless you're really active on social media. We started our interaction, I think, about 2006, 2007, but I think it's really scaled up over the last 2 years. And today, Pepsi has, some brand Pepsi on its Facebook page has about 3 million fans, Lay's has over 1 million, and a very, very interactive process where we can continuous dialogue.
Some of the other buzzwords are environment and going green. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Okay, I think the larger approach of PepsiCo right now is performance with purpose. Performance is very, very important, but the purpose agenda is equally important. And our CEO in Renew has really articulated 3 legs to the purpose agenda. Firstly, around human sustainability, which is about providing the right range of products for the nutrition needs of our consumers. The second is about talent sustainability, how to make sure that we are generating the right employments and then attracting the best talent and developing and retaining that talent. And thirdly, about environment sustainability. And the water work that we've been doing in recent years has been part of the environment sustainability. So what have we achieved? I think the first thing we've got to remember is PepsiCo is water positive, and we are water positive to the extent of 8 billion liters of water, which means we are recharging or putting back into the system 8 billion, which is about more than 1.5 times the water we consume every year.
About corporate social responsibility, and I'm really asking a generic question here about what is your view about Indian companies and multinationals in India? Are they doing enough in this space?
I think over the last few years that awareness of giving back has really gone up a lot, and I think companies have really stepped up their initiatives. There'll always be a debate of what is enough and what is not enough, but I think what the delta we've seen over the last 3 years has been huge, and it's been across various areas. I think we're beginning to build critical mass to now start seeing it come together. And when you see the totality of what everybody is doing, I think they'll see that there's an appreciable difference.
You know, one of the 3 pillars that you talked about was talent. So what are the strategies that PepsiCo is adopting with regards to talent? You know, one thing that we talk about is that there is abundance of labor and shortage of talent. You know, so we have 400 million in the workforce, but everybody seems to be after the 4 million. So how would what are the kind of initiatives that you're doing from your side in building talent within PepsiCo India?
Well, I think for us, the most important thing is having the right people at the right place at the right time, working on the right things, but most importantly, in the right way.
Yeah.
So the entire cycle starts from firstly recruiting and recruiting right, going to the right institutes, getting the right courses for horses depending on the nature of the job and role, and then making sure that you've got programs to develop these people through, for example, in our case, the management training program. But then it is about continuous interventions and development for these people in the course of their career, the right interventions at the right time. And we've got a series of management development programs through what we call bold building, outstanding leaders for the future.
So Manu, you've been back for what, about 18 months?
18 months now, that's right.
18 months. So how's been that experience of coming back and leading the team here in India? What were the the things that stand out, and what are the things that you didn't expect, continue to happen in India?
I was very clear that I truly wanted to come back and work in India because I think this is the most exciting things to work. And when I came back, again, the first thing that hit me was just the sheer growth opportunity. And clearly the task was all about maximizing the growth opportunity while continuing to build out the business in the right way. That's been a wonderful part of the experience. The other great part was just coming back to work with such phenomenal, talented people within our company and across the board, and that really makes it a very rewarding experience every day. What are the areas of worry? Well, I think fundamentally is the infrastructure. The amount of time and energy that goes into managing because of the lack of infrastructure is disproportionate here to anywhere else. And honestly, I think our labor productivity could go up a lot more if we could get that right. Our managerial productivity could go up a lot more. And the second is just the fiscal uncertainty, the sheer rate at which taxation policy changes, taxation rates change, policy changes happen. It's something that you've really got to keep adjusting your business for every few days while still trying to do the right thing for your consumer. That is a second challenge that we've got to deal with every day here. And third, of course, is the inflation, but that's pretty much everywhere in the world where you do business today. You've got to learn to deal with that.
Do you see a lot of volatility? So when you do your plans, and by the time the plans are in the market, getting executed, it's a different world.
Your forecasts and numbers have to change every 3 months, if not more, with these uncertainties, because the inflation, fiscal uncertainty, and the great thing, of course, is growth continues and the growth story continues.
It's like finding order in chaos.
It's true, that's true. And continuing to thrive in chaos. It's not just finding the order, it's how to thrive in the chaos.
Exactly right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Manu. It was very insightful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wish you all the best.
Thanks.
Thank you.